Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Steve Buors, CEO of Reshift Media, and I will be your host for today. I am joined by Ryan Picklyk, a leading voice in Canadian franchising. Ryan is the Senior Director of Strategic Partnerships and Franchising at A&W Food Services Canada, where he plays a key role in driving the brand's expansion and fostering strong relationships with franchise partners nationwide. In addition to his fantastic work at A&W, Ryan serves as the chair of the board of directors for the Canadian Franchise Association. In this role, he champions growth, sustainability, and ethical standards of franchising across the country, and he supports entrepreneurs and established brands alike. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Great to be with you, Steve. Thank you.
And so happy to have you here to talk about Canada Day and talk about, a celebration of Canadian franchising. So on that note, I want to clear something up right out of the gate. Many people don't realize that A&W Canada is actually a fully Canadian company. So let's talk about how A&W Canada is distinct from its U.S. counterpart, shall we?
Sure, let's do that. We are Canadian owned. Our head office is right here where I'm standing in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia.
Quite a view behind you, by the way. I can
a bit of a view of that beautiful city right behind me, exactly. A&W has been in Canada since 1956 when the first drive-in opened in yours and my hometown, Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Is that really where the first one was?
That was where the very first A&W in Canada was, Portage Avenue.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
Yeah. And while the brand did come to Canada from the United States, it's been completely independently owned since the 1990s when a group of our senior managers at the organization organized a buyout of the business. And since the mid-90s, we've been completely Canadian owned, operated, and focusing on serving Canadians coast to coast.
I love that. Well, okay, so let's jump off of that then. So what does it mean to A&W to be part of the Canadian business landscape, and especially as we're talking about Canada Day?
Yeah, well, there's this thing that all of my colleagues will recognize and appreciate when I share it. When you tell people that you work for A&W, the first thing people want to do is tell you their A&W story. And that never, ever gets old. Some of those stories go back a long way. They go back to their memories of being in a drive-in, sitting in the back seat of a car, with the tray, roller skates in the pickup window.
Yeah, that was me for sure.
Yeah. And it's great to hear those stories, but we also hear stories that are far more recent. Folks who are their Christmas shopping tradition is to have A&W at lunch at a food court location in a mall. You hear about folks who tell you about the A&W that just got opened on their way to work. And while they didn't know we had breakfast before, now the bacon and egg is their favorite breakfast sandwich. You hear stories about road trips across Western Canada and how many A&Ws people stopped in on their drive out to the coast. It's something that's really, really special. It's really special to be a part of people's lives in that way. And it's something that I've always really taken a lot of pride in working for A&W.
I love that.
I love hearing these stories.
Well, and you struck a real chord with me because I remember in Winnipeg, going to the drive-in, and the roller skates and the tray, and I was a kid in the back seat, and it was just the funnest thing. Of course, my dad was always saying, "Don't get food on the seats."
That's right. Yeah.
Well, so obviously A&W, without question, has become one of the most beloved restaurant brands in the country. I know I have a lot of affinity for it. I'm sure a lot of the people watching do. So what do you think's contributed to that success over the years, Ryan?
Well, I think when you talk about the love that has been created of the brand, you can't have that conversation without talking about our franchisees. That love is built and nurtured by our franchisees. They work hard with their teams to build connections with Canadians every day. Every story that I just talked about and every story that I hear from people about their experience with A&W, that experience is created by a franchisee. It's driven by their teams. It's the person at the front counter welcoming them into the restaurant. It's the franchisee walking the coffee pot around the restaurant early in the morning. I think to talk about how loved our brand is, the first thing you have to talk about is the hard work and dedication of our franchisees and their teams.
Oh, I love that. And, it's interesting you talk about that, because I absolutely wanted to talk about your franchise model. Obviously, A&W is a franchise. So let's talk a bit about how that franchise model empowers local entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Well, I think when you talk about A&W and our model of success, you can't have that conversation without talking about something that we call climate. Anyone who's worked closely with A&W will know what I mean when I talk about climate. But for those who don't, at A&W, climate's about how we work together. To a certain degree, it's about culture, the culture that we strive to create, but it goes beyond just a conversation of culture. It's about fostering a positive environment, promoting teamwork, and creating open communication and collaboration. It's about outlining the behaviors we acknowledge are needed in order for us to be successful. And then the really important part is us all not only committing to behave in that way, but holding each other accountable to those behaviors. That's true for my colleagues here at A&W here in Vancouver at our head office. That's how we work together with our franchisees. And it extends all the way to the front lines of our business in every restaurant across the country. It's something that truly sets A&W apart.
Well, I can just hear the passion you have for the brand as you talk, right? Clearly, there's a lot behind that, and like you say, and actually, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how you have that culture and how you have that national brand, obviously recognized right across the country. I think you'd be hard pressed to find anyone in Canada when you say A&W, they don't know what you're talking about. So how do you do that, but still have that local community focused feel you just talked about?
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the brilliance of the franchising model, or one of the brilliant elements of the franchising model is it's inherently local. Each A&W is focused on serving the communities they're in. I think one of the really cool things that can come from that model as the leaders of the national brand is we have the opportunity to take learnings and ideas that first happen locally and then bring them and extend them to the rest of the country. Two examples I can think of that in action. Our national fundraising campaign that we partner with the MS Society every year. That idea started not here in Vancouver. It started in Saskatchewan, led by our franchisees in that province. From that single idea, a movement started where we've raised over $20 million to support MS research and Canadians living with MS in Canada. That didn't happen here. That's an idea that started locally. That type of innovation extends to our menu development as well. We recently launched a potato spicy piri burger. It's delicious
really?
if you've not had it. That innovation came from our staff at our restaurants. They needed a vegetarian option that had more spice than anything else on our menu. So they created that sandwich to meet their needs. We saw how popular it became with our staff, particularly with new Canadians, and we rolled it out across the country. The result is Canadians have a new favorite vegetarian option on our menu.
Amazing. Well, I'm a teen burger guy myself, but I will give it a go. You have my word. I'll give it. It does sound fantastic. But that teen burger is my go-to. Always has been. I like the bacon.
I'm with you.
Well, so let's go a little larger. So obviously you're the chair of the board at the CFA. So where do you see Canadian franchising headed over the next few years? Especially for maybe younger entrepreneurs or newer entrepreneurs who want to get involved.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can honestly say I don't think there's ever been a better time to join a franchise. And I think many Canadians see that opportunity. Franchising gives you the opportunity to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And I think that has greater importance than ever before. There are franchise opportunities at every investment level, from a small service-based, low initial investment model, right up to a business like ours at A&W. If an entrepreneur is interested in starting a new business, franchising will continue to provide a model that can give you success, give you access to an established, proven concept and ultimately provide you an opportunity where you can achieve success in your own independent business. And of course, if anyone does have any questions or wants to learn more about that, the CFA is a great, great resource for them.
Absolutely. Okay, last thing. So,
Sure.
what message do you hope Canadians take away on Canada Day about franchises like A&W and the role that franchising plays in communities?
Well, I think first and foremost, I think a main takeaway about franchising, whether it's A&W or any of the many, many franchises across the country, is those businesses are a part of your community, and their focus, their purpose is to serve your community. Franchises are locally owned and operated by a member of that community. They employ people in your community. For businesses like ours, oftentimes our restaurants are people's first jobs and where they learn how to work. So they're really making big contributions to communities across the country. I know our franchisees take a lot of pride in that role and the role they play within their communities. And maybe just the last message I would share is to everyone out there, whether you're a member of the CFA or member of A&W or not, just a big happy Canada Day to everybody.
Well said. Happy Canada Day to you as well, Ryan.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Hope everyone enjoyed this video. Great insights from Ryan. And as he said, if you want to learn more about franchising, Canadian Franchise Association is a great resource. Happy Canada Day, everyone.
Happy Canada Day.